everybody. I wanted to do a reading for Aries, right? This is gonna be for the overall energy from April, right? Happy birthday, Aries. I know I'm a little late, but yeah, might as well. We still got more than half of April left anyways, right? So let's see what comes out. I was still dealing with a lot of energies from the eclipses and everything, right? For me, there was so many things that happened, still kind of processing everything. So, you know, let's see what comes out for Aries for the remainder of April. Wow, this is pretty cool. So right here, first I'm starting with the Jade Oracle. All right, first we got Simply Corn Maíz. Look at, I love these the paintings, right? They're full of color and life. So Simply Corn. Let's see. Simply corn maíz. Corn was the most important foodstuff for ancient Mexicans and continues as the base for many foods. Tortillas, tamales, atole, a corn drink, and pozole, just to name a few. Just to name a few. Corn was offered to the deities in rituals, and casting corn kernels was one of the first forms of divination, still used today. Corn was domesticated thousands of years ago when farmers used selective breeding to produce ears with more kernels. The first domesticated corn dating from 3500 BCE was found in Puebla. This domestication process left corn entirely dependent on humans for propagation, furthering the relationship between humans and corn as allies. Prayers and Huehuetlatoli, ancient words of wisdom, explicitly describe humans as corn, and young warriors were likened to the lord of corn, Sinteotl. Sinteotl. Over and over again, the notion of being food is a central part of the Aztec conception of what it means to be human. Corn represents the relationship between humans and the plants that live on the earth. Just as plants are food for humans, eventually humans are food for the earth. When you draw this card, consider your relationship with the earth, the land, and the place you depend on for life. Are you in balance, out of balance? Are you grateful for everything that gives its life for you to live? Remember that corn connects you to the divine as well as to your roots and your essence. So that's pretty cool. And I remember, I'm sure I mentioned it maybe on my podcast channel, maybe during a reading, but once I spoke to this shaman, and she said in the future, right, that we would see that, in our human DNA that they were gonna find the corn, right, in our that we have the same DNA or something like that. I remember she told me. Um, so it's pretty funny that, the ancient cultures already knew that, right? I think that made sense, right? You guys got me. All right. So, anyways, okay, let me use one from the Dark Goddess, and I'll pull some tarot. Shuffle real quick. Oh, my other deck. I don't know what I did with it, so I'll use the other tarot deck. It's fine. But the first one from the Dark Goddess. So again, this is for Aries for the rest of April, right? What you can expect for April. Okay, so any message from the Dark Goddess for Aries? Oh, there we go. Persephone balance. Wow, and it just said balance in the corn one, right? That's pretty funny. So I guess overall right now they're asking you to get balanced, Aries. So I don't know what you're out of balance with, but oof. And this one came out right under, right? I don't know if I'll read them both. Let's see. Santa Muerte death. So obviously you could think of it kind of like with the tarot death and rebirth, right? But Persephone was on top. That death got stuck to it, but obviously Persephone. Okay, balance. Myth. Persephone is the Greek goddess of spring. We're in spring. And queen of the underworld. She spends half the year ruling in the underworld alongside her husband Hades and the other half in the upper world. Persephone returns to her mother Demeter each May as the grain emerges from the earth. As the spring maiden, Persephone is a goddess of innocence, growth, and happiness. In her role as a goddess of death, that's funny that Santa Muerte counter death. In her role as a goddess of death, she is a keeper of souls, is a banisher of ghosts, and facilitates communication with the dead. Meaning, Persephone is encouraging you to be conscious of how you're balancing. Oh, yeah, I said balance, right? Balancing everything in your life. Are there areas in your life that feel uneven? Look deeply into yourself with a light of honesty and accountability. Balance is about recentering and being able to see both the dark and the light sides. Take the time to correct and make any changes needed to find greater harmony. Okay, and I might as well read Santa Muerte. I'm gonna spoil you because usually I only like to read one. Santa Muerte Death. Myth. Santa Muerte is a Mexican folk saint whose name translates to Saint Death or Holy Death. She is a personification of death who is associated with protection and healing. She is both loved and feared, and she can be called upon for matters of life and death. She is also a psychopomp. I don't even know if I've heard that word. Guiding her devoted followers to their final resting places. Santa Muerte usually appears as a skeleton draped in long robes of holding a Sith. How do you say that word? Sith. But they're talking about the thing she's holding. Scythe. And globe. Despite condemnation, I always call it the sickle, I think, right? That thing she's holding, but I don't know. I guess it's a scythe. I don't know how you pronounce that. And globe. Despite condemnation by the Catholic Church, her following and popularity continue to grow. Meaning, death has arrived, but do not fear. Santa Muerte is here to guide you through this safely. There is an aspect of your life that you must realize is no longer serving you. You have arrived at the end of this particular journey, but new ones await you. Letting go of the past is difficult but necessary for growth. Resistance will only lead to pain. Focus your energy on letting go of what is no longer serving you and instead visualize the new possibilities in your future. Wow, that's amazing. So, that makes perfect sense, right? Now, I mean, we just started the technical new year, right? Obviously, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, right? We're still in Aries season. Spring just started. So that makes perfect sense. If there's something you need to let go of, like they said, the longer you procrastinate, the more painful it gets, right? So, the changes in life, I'm sure if you're connecting with this, I'm sure the spirit world's already been, you know, I don't know if this came out on the last reading, but that's funny that right as I got this deck, the Ten of Cups was under, right? So I don't know if that's what I don't look at it as I split the decks, the star, right? So hope, healing, inspiration, all that stuff. Usually I don't say that stuff like I wait till whatever comes out when I'm shuffling, but I don't know. They got my attention. That's crazy. Ten of Cups and so I'm gonna use this deck because I don't know where my other one is, right? Okay, so what else does Aries need to know? Oh, that one just flew out. Wow. Like I don't know if you saw, but it like literally flew out. Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Marriage, financial security, family, wealth, legacy, community, home established. Right? Virgo energy, Ten of Cups. Ten of Pentacles, I mean. But that's funny, right? That the Ten of Cups was under. So maybe after you let go, right? You finally let go of what you need to let go of. Wow. Eight of Cups. Walking away. See, it's talking about, letting go of Pisces energy. Desire for more, letting go, traveling, withdrawal, abandonment. Right? So you have to walk away from the past, right? I mean, look at it. It's like if the whole back is stitched up from all the scars, right? Obviously, all the scars that we carry with us. I don't know, my gut lit up when I said that. So I think that's what this is about, right? Like Sometimes it's hard. Yeah, we still carry traumas from the past, right? Um, I know I was personally dealing with stuff that, sometimes you don't even realize it and it doesn't make sense, right? Like some things you're like, why would that affect me or something? But hey, during this eclipse season, you know, I don't know, it's just weird, right? Sometimes there's things that, wounds that were that deep that, you know, you just have to let go of, right? That's what it is. So, okay. Any other message for, oof, wow. Queen of Cups. Mother, psychic, empathic, loyal, loving, obsessive, caring, family oriented, emotional. Maybe you're in this Queen of Cups energy right now. Maybe you're feeling very intuitive. My gut's kind of lighting up again. Like all the little kind of like butterflies in a good way, right? Feels very balanced, right? Like, right? Maybe you're just ready to move forward, right? You're not like the past energy, right? Maybe you've already done the work or you're still in the process of it, right? Like this one says, right? Letting go, desire for more, obviously, right? From once you realize that things in the past weren't, when we go through this life experience, it's like it's crazy some of the things we deal with before we become fully aware of what we deserve or but see, it's almost like sometimes you do have to be at that place. You could be delusional and be like, I deserve this, and not that we don't ever deserve the best, right? But it's like like imagine you being, because sometimes we'll get reflected the mirror, right? But if you're a toxic person and you're expecting like the universe, let's put it like that, you expect the universe to give you everything without having done the work, without being that for someone else as well, right? Like without being someone that reciprocates that energy for somebody else, but yet you feel entitled to a certain thing, right? Like, but this energy is like someone that is in that energy, right? Like you've most likely already done the work, and it's a very peaceful energy for some reason. Okay, any other message for Aries? I think if anything, right? Maybe you just still it's talking about balance. So obviously whoever connected with this, maybe there's already a different Aries energy, but right in the beginning, right, it was about balancing. So right now if you're going through something, maybe by the end of the month, the light bulb will go off and you'll be more at peace, right? Like we're still probably in the shadow of right. We just went through the retrograde. It just ended yesterday on the 7th as I'm doing this. So okay. Any final message then for Aries? Anything else? I mean, we could talk about that 8 of Cups. Let me see anything. What was it about that 8 of Cups, right? Oof. Either you're making new connections or you already did, right? 8 of Wands, messages, communication, social media, fast, quick, karma, fast moving, positive news. So maybe there's like a good karma, right? Obviously, after, a past of, you know, walking away with all the scars, right? But, those scars always, like, to me, obviously represent knowledge, right? Obviously, all the things you go through, you learn from. And this person does have like a look of Someone that's gone through things, so that's made them wise, obviously, right? Okay, so I think that's it. Like it says positive news. If you this hasn't happened already, then maybe by the end of maybe by the end of the month, right? Maybe you'll connect with a Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, Virgo. Those are the energies that are here. Obviously, if you haven't yet, like it says, make sure to balance out. Here, I'll pull one more just in case. From the wisdom of the elders, balance out. Go out. For me, obviously, nature is always the thing, but it's talking about balancing. Seeking balance, right? Both the Jade Oracle and the Dark Goddess kind of gave that message, right? You can rewind it because I don't even remember what you know. As I'm doing these readings, I'm always like present, so I like whatever I just read, I kind of like forget, but I know the theme was balanced regardless. So, okay, so any last message from the wisdom of the elders? Advice for Aries. Advice for Aries from Bam. Of course. Why am I not surprised? Honesty. Sabe, Bigfoot, right? I love Bigfoot. I was thinking about Bigfoot this morning. That's why it's funny. Right now, when this came out in my head, I don't know if I said it out loud, but I was like, of course it will come out. Bigfoot, right? I was thinking about Bigfoot. And seven, honesty, right? Obviously, honesty, not only with others, but with yourself, right? If you're not honest with yourself, more importantly, well, of course, if you're not honest with yourself, how can you be honest with others, right? So, you got to be honest with yourself, like what it was saying about letting go of things. So if you got to let go of something, you got to let go of something, and you got to be honest, right? Things that are not supposed to be in your life anymore, and that's it. Okay. Honesty is a sacred grandfather teaching that starts with oneself, as it takes bravery to be honest through our words and actions. By being honest with ourselves, it becomes easier to be honest with others. What did I say? The sacred grandfather teaching of honesty is provided to us by Sabe, Sasquatch, which imparts its ability to truly understand what it is and how it walks through life. To walk with integrity is to know honesty, and to be honest with yourself reflects a level of righteousness. Long ago, Sabe walked among people to remind them to be honest to each other and to the laws of the Creator. It is said that honest people keep their promises, and living a life true to oneself exemplifies honesty. To truly accept who you are and how the Creator made you is to be true to one's own spirit. Fully accepting who you are will guide you through this sacred teaching. If you have drawn this card today, remember that embracing who you are is to be honest with yourself and the Creator. You might be called upon to be honest in a particular situation, or become more honest with yourself regarding how authentically you walk in this life. Remember to embrace all that you are. The Creator made you as a unique expression of the divine, and expressing the truest version of self assists in raising Earth's vibrations, right? So when you're honest with yourself, it also raises the Earth's vibration, right? Because we are all connected. So on that note, thank you, Aries, so much. Let me know if it resonates. Give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. And yeah, that's it. All right, thank you. Hope you got something out of that. Peace.